Hi, my name is Denise Young, and the tip of the day is how to tell if your teen is cutting. And the reason why I chose this topic was because I get a lot of questions about teens and their behaviors and their emotions, but I have had a few consumers and clients that did cut. Now I have teenage daughters, which they discuss about their friends cutting. So I wanted to do an informational video on what to do if your teen is cutting. Did you know that 10% of teens hurt themselves or injure themselves? And most of the time when individuals do cut, it's because of a tragedy or some kind of abuse or pain that they go through. And I know for the normal person, why would you cut? But for the individual that's going through the pain, they feel that it's something they can control and it's a release. The first tip would be look for any injuries or scars. A lot of times the teens will cut here, middle thigh or inner thigh, and also they will cut in the legs area and the ankles. Sometimes teens will cut between the fingers. So just check the whole body and pay attention. Noticing injuries and cuts would be your first indication if your teen is going through any emotional trauma. The next tip would be watch out for clothing. A lot of times when the teens cut here or on their legs, they'll wear clothing that's out of season, such as if it's 85 degrees and it's summertime, they're wearing long sleeves or something they wore in the fall. That's a big indication. The next tip is, has your teen been withdrawn? Do they not want to be bothered? This is an indication as well. And if so, this could be a red flag. The next tip is signs of depression. Teens go through a lot of depression through the puberty years. And it's very hard for them to transition in high school and so on. But one of the things that I have noticed is if you keep a communication bridge open with your teens, you can kind of find out what's going on with them. The next tip is observe them to see if they're withdrawn from their normal activities such as sports, gym class, and etc. If so, you really want to start bridging a relationship with your teen's school and teachers. Because if you talk to the teachers, then you can kind of figure out the behaviors at school and kind of keep a tab on that. So make sure you bridge a great relationships with the school so you'll know what's going on in your child's life. The next tip is, are they being bullied or picked on at school? This is important because, as you know, teens value a lot of relationships if they're good or bad. So if they feel like they have no friends, that is so detrimental for them and really makes them go into depression. The next tip is check your medicine supplies, your medicine cabinet, to see if supplies are missing, Band-Aids, disinfectant, and etc. Because this could be a big indication that your child is cutting. The next tip is keep your eyes on sharp objects. For instance, do they have sharp objects in their room? This can be an indication that they are cutting. And I'm not telling you, parents, to go and snoop, but every now and then go into the rooms to see what you find, to see if it's an indication of any negative behaviors. The next tip is, do your child have low self-esteem? This can be an indication if the child is moody or unhappy with his or her body. The next tip and last tip would be, ask yourself, is he or she mad all the time? Do they not like you anymore? And this is important because you can kind of gauge how your child is as far as, is the child depressed or is your child just being moody? And this is important because a lot of times with puberty, their personalities go up and down, the attitudes. You can say, pick up a piece of paper on the floor and they'll snap at you. So you really need to know your child and their personality and who they are. So that way you can kind of gauge what is really going on. Is it just puberty, or they're having a bad day, or is something else going on? Last but least, If you're having a lot of issues, I recommend that you do see a therapist or a counselor or a psychiatrist, because your child really has a lot of issues if they are cutting. And you really need to get to the bottom of the problem, of the issue. Why are they cutting? What is really going on? And if so, counseling can really help. If you have any questions or concerns, you can Twitter me at Denise L Media, email me with any questions or concerns, or if you want a tip of the day talked about, at Denise Young Life Skills Coach at gmail.com. Have a great day.